All right, Geoff, before you go, any last minute advice you have for someone jumping into NFL DFS action in week 1?
Yeah, week 1 tends to be a little bit different than the rest of the weeks. We don't have as much information. We're kind of a little bit in the dark in terms of how the usage is going to go, how the teams are actually going to deploy their offenses. So if you do have, if you've been studying a team a little bit, or if you're just on a stack, say, that isn't getting talked up as much, or maybe just doesn't project as well as you thought it would be, I would say go with it, because week 1, we're all a little bit in the dark, and it tends to be one of the more sort of variance-filled weeks of the season. So I don't want to say go with your gut, but again, if you do a little bit of research and you feel like a team or a stack is maybe getting undervalued or overlooked, this is the week to do it, because again, we just don't have as much information as we will say in a couple weeks.
Jules, anything to add?
Yeah, it's pretty well said by Geoff. Honestly, we think we know these things, and then it goes differently, and it's because we just haven't seen enough yet to put anything on a page. So I think my favorite piece of what Geoff said is, if you are trying to kind of talk yourself into something, and you're like, this, it doesn't rate as well in certain models, or doesn't project as high. If you like it, go with it, because a lot of these projections aren't going to be on point for week 1. So whatever you think is going to happen, use that rather than what everybody else is telling you is supposed to happen.
Pearce, anything to add?
Yeah, let me add on. And don't play bad players. With all the value and all the talk that we do, we've talked up a lot of people that really aren't that good. Maybe Sam Darnold falls into that category. I'll pick on Jameis Winston here.
You guys watch.
Jameis Winston is a perfect example of a bad player that's going to get talked up over the next couple days. He's going to get played. He doesn't have any receivers. He's never been good. It's okay for a quarterback to be good in college and struggle in the NFL. We can write him off. Now, maybe Kevin King is going to have a terrible game and make Winston look good, but there's plenty of options. You really don't have to reach just because that value play looks shiny and fancy. Just stick to guys that have a track record.